Thank you, Maha, for accepting our invitation to shed light, of course, to clarify on the saga right now. That is the mismanagement of the UTGSU Endowment Fund. So, esteemed viewers, I am Ibrahim Bay, and of course, I would be the host of this program. And then my guest here today is Honorable Maha Emso, like I said earlier. He is the, clerk of the University of the Gambia Students' Union Legislative Body, the fifth legislative body. So, Ma, like I told you earlier on, we would delve into a discussion and centrally on your investigations. I've learned that you've investigated two important aspects as per, your tenure as the clerk, and of course, as per your tenure as the fifth legislative body of the University of the Gambia Student Union is concerned. So we will start with the investigation on the UTGSU Endowment Fund. So, but first, before we proceed, Maha, we would like you to tell us, the mandate of the UTG SU legislative body.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Mbai. As I said earlier, I am happy to be here. And as the clerk of the Fifth Legislative Body, it's incumbent upon me to come and then clarify certain things that were put in the media which were misinformation, and also to tell people what our report entails. But as you said, if you look at Section 30 of the UTGSU Constitution up to Section 44 of the UTGSU Constitution, all talks about the legislative body. So you get to realize that the legislative body has the power in Section 31, sub 1, has the power to conduct investigations. So, and when they conduct these investigations at the end of the day, in Section 44, sub 1, all the decisions, recommendations, and resolutions of the legislative body have to be implemented by the Executive Council and its affiliates. So basically, you will see, with regards to investigation, this is one of the mandates as per the legislative body, but it also have other functions. Some of the functions are the annual budgets of the Executive Council has to be approved by the legislative body. We also, any amount that is exceeding $75,000 that has to be withdrawn from the executive union's this thing account. It should also be approved by the legislative body. So these are just some of the mandates that the legislative body has. It has so many other responsibilities as well. But as for our investigation, since it is with regards to financial mismanagement and all that, we will just connive it or narrow it down to that. Yeah, thank you.
Interesting. So, that is the mandate of the University of Gambia Student Union legislative body. So, Ma, to the main issue now, to the discussion that brought us here today. Take us through what really happened on the UTGSU, endowment fund.
Yes, so with regards to the endowment fund, it's essential to get through the genesis of how this endowment fund came about. You will see that this endowment fund was given to the 19th Executive Council, and then during the 19th Executive Council by MSDG, and then when this money came, it was purposely for investments to be made, and when these investments are made, the profits earned and all that will be put to the students of the University of the Gambia. So basically, this was what it was all about. So in 14 June 2021, 1.1 million was credited to the account. That account is a separate account of the UTGSU account, because UTGSU, they have their main account at Ajib Bank. So when these funds came, MSDG instructed the 19th Executive Council to set up an independent committee. This independent committee would be the ones that would be responsible for raising funds and as well as investment. But that committee is still under the 19th Executive Council, and they have to report back to the UTGSU and also UTG relations. So this is basically what the endowment account was all about. And as I said, on the 14th of June 2021, $1.1 million was deposited. Basically, this is it. But at the end of the day, we realized that as per our investigation, there were no investments made throughout. There were no investments made, but there were so many withdrawals that were made. So many withdrawals, and then just to give you a glimpse of some of them, in 18 June 2021, there was a withdrawal of $23,600 by one of the signatories, and it's essential to tell you who the signatories were. We had two signatories at the time. They were Mohammed Bibaji, who was the Auditor General of the 19th Executive Council, and also we have Mamadou Lamin Jajusi, who was the Gender and Health Minister of the 19th Executive Council. And then this will also raise questions as to why these people were signatories to the account as many raised. This is because during the 19th Executive Council, as I said, they had a bank account at Ajib Bank, and then the President, the Secretary General, and also the Finance Minister were the signatories to that account. And there was no legal backing to that independent committee that was set up. So through that, they also believed two individuals that can be signatories aside from the three signatories that were there, based on our report as per our findings. So this was the reason as to why they chose Modlami Jajusi and also Mohamed Bibaji to be signatories to the account. So basically, this was it. So now, as I was giving you a glimpse of the withdrawals that were made on the 18th of June 2021, $23,600 was withdrawn from the account, as well as on the 5th of July 2021, 70,000 was also withdrawn by Modlame Jajusi. You have on the 17th of November 2021, we have $10,000 was withdrawn by Mohamed Bibaji, and we have on the 19th of November 2021, 5,000 was withdrawn by Mohamed Bibaji, and a major withdrawal occurred on 27th of November 2023, and I believe this is in fact the main thing that we're talking about here, because it was the major withdrawal that happened, a significant amount, which was withdrawn on 27th of November 2023, and it was withdrawn based on the bank statement by Modlame Jajusi. Yes, basically, this is the withdrawals that that took place. So that's as per our findings on the bank statement. But yes, it's also essential that I explain to everyone that we conducted investigations on these people. We wrote to Modlame Jajusi, we wrote to Mohamed Bibaji. Mohamed Bibaji responded and then appeared. So when Mohamed Bibaji appeared to us, what he told us as a panel was that he wasn't aware of the time that the $1 million was withdrawn. He said for the simple fact that during the first graduate scheme, in which 28 students of the University of the Gambia were beneficiaries, he was also part of those people that were the beneficiaries. So he was posted at Janyambure. As the time he was going to Janyambure, he signed about 5 checklists in order for any investment that is to take place. As far as there are 2 signatories, the withdrawal can happen even in his absence. That is to be done by Molami Jajisi, who will just append his signature to that checklist, and then from there, withdrawals will be made. So we try to ascertain this fact, whether it is true or not. So we contacted Mr. Usman Jaz, who was the president of the 19th Executive Council, and he was able to ascertain that he was aware that, yes, 5 checklists were signed by Mohamed Bibaji. So then we were able to came to a conclusion that the $1 million that was withdrawn after their tenure, it's essential to mention that the $1 million was withdrawn in 2023, which was 2 years after their tenure. So we were able to ascertain that it was from those checklists that it was withdrawn, and it was withdrawn by only Mohamed Jajusi. And how do we know that it was Molami Jajusi that withdrew this money? We wrote to Molami Jajusi a number of times, and I personally called him a number of times, and he never responded to any of our messages. And in fact, the letter entailed for him to write a personal statement, which Modlamin Jajusi did, which Mohamed Baji did, and also Usman Jasi did. They all wrote their personal statements to us as per their involvement. But Modlamin Jajusi never responded to any of those things, and he never wrote a personal statement. We called and he never responded until I had to call Mr. Usman Jasi to tell him that to please talk to Molamin Jajusi to pick my cause, because it is essential to give him free hearing. It's his right. But if he also did not, we are only going to take the testimonies of other individuals. And then Usman Jasi talked to him, and then the next day I called him. It was on the 17th. On the 17th of it was on the 17th of September. On the 17th of September, I called him. It was around 11 when I called him. He picked. So when he picked, I asked him. I told him that we are very aware that you are the one that withdrew the 1 million, as per the bank statement. on the 27th of November 2023. And then he told me, yes, he withdrew the 27th, he withdrew the 1 million on the 27th of November 2023. So I asked him, are you in any ways is there any other person connected to this withdrawal? And he wasn't going straight to the point. He was dilly-dallying, I could say, because he was telling me, I alone cannot withdraw it and all that. And what I told him later was, what we just want to ascertain is you and who, because the bank statement clearly states it's you. So tell us, it's you and who that connect
Right.
to withdraw this money. And his response was, he cannot tell because there are other individuals that are currently working in the Gambia, and he is already away. So basically, he cannot tell me because he don't want those ones to lose their job. So what I told him, their jobs. So what I told him is really we are not interested in those things. What we are interested in is the truth. You just tell us the truth, and from there we can be able to publish our report. So he told me that he take the entire blame that he is the one who withdrew the 1 million, which is also important for everybody to know that that is in fact what is in the bank statement. He said he's the one who withdrew and he take full charge of the withdrawal, and he promised me with the council members that he will pay in due time. That due time we were not there to ascertain what due time is going to be. Our mandate was to write the report, and then that report will be submitted to the 22nd Executive Council, and the 22nd Executive Council has to abide by each of the resolutions and recommendations as per Section 44, Sub 1 of the UTGSU Constitution, which I think they are aware, because what the Constitution says is very clear. It says that the legislative body has the right to bring in decisions, resolutions, and recommendations. And each of those resolutions and recommendations have to be implemented by the Executive Council and its affiliates. So, and then just to caution the 22nd Executive Council as well, in Section 44, Sub 3, it says that it should be sufficient ground to impeach the president or any council member who did not enforce the decisions or the recommendations or the resolutions of the legislative body. I believe basically this was the rundown of how the withdrawals were made, and those that are responsible for the withdrawals, it was basically the signatories of the account that were responsible for the withdrawals. But as I said, the major withdrawal was made by Mulamin Jajusi, and he took full blame as per our report. So any other information that is trending in social media that 500,000 was given to Molamin Jajusi and 500,000 to Mohamed Bibaji, that was not what our report entailed. And our report was so detailed because we gave each of them the freedom to express themselves, and each of them was able to tell us their involvement. And Molamin Jajusi, not for even once did he told us that he shared 500,000 to Mohamed Bibaji. So basically, this is the rundown of how things were.
Thank you, Ma. So, I mean, coming down, we learned that, I mean, this endowment fund was established by 19 Executive Council. So, 19 Executive Council to today, we have two succeeding council that, I mean, already, I mean, ended their tenure. That is the 20th and, of course, the 21st Executive Council. So, I mean, what went wrong? I mean, as per your investigation, why, I mean, the 20th and 22nd and 25th Executive Council could not, I mean, claim the signatory to the bank
Yes,
account.
I would say this for free. I would say that the 20th Executive Council, before coming to the 21st Executive Council, they were the ones that failed the students of the University of the Gambia. Because in May 2022, the signatory, the Modlamin Jajusi and Mohamed Bibaji already appended their signature on the transfer of the bank account, which uh, the, the the Secretary General by then, Bow, and we also have the Vice President Barry, and also the Finance Minister Koka, Mohamed Koka. All of them also appended their signature at the time, and all that was taken to the bank. But the problem was the 20th Executive Council. Some will tell you, in fact, my communication with Mr. Koka and also Vice President Barry, each of them would tell me that they believe is the order that was having expired documents or incomplete documents. So it was because of expired or incomplete documents that was either that was either for Mohamed Koka or for Vice President Barry. But for Mbow, it was clear that Mbow was having all his documents, but these two people were not having their documents right, and that was the reason as to why they did not forge ahead. But I believe they could have even done that when they have all their documents right, but they never did so. So that means that the 20th Executive Council failed the students woefully at the time, because they were the first people that were supposed to transfer the signatories from Mohamed Bibaji and Molamin Jajusi. And then it is essential for people to know that those people also did what they were supposed to do, that is Molamin Jajusi and Mohamed Bibaji, at the with the 20th Executive Council, because they came and they were ready to sign and then give back all the documents. But the 20th Executive Council did not take it any further. Now, to the 21st Executive Council, they have also tried better than that of the 20th Executive Council. At least they brought in a bill. They call it the Endowment Bill. This Endowment Bill was to help them set up a proper committee, and this committee will have the legal backing of the LB, because there's no constitutional backing for this endowment account. So when they brought in this, the LB was busy at the time, and then at some point we organized a session where we had to invite the Justice Minister, who is Farmata Kamara at the time. So when we invited her, we told her that there are certain things in the bill which we don't think is appropriate to be there. Because at some point we are seeing that the members of the current council, that was members of the 21st Executive Council, some of them should be signatories for 2 years, which we believe that is inconsistent, because these people will no more be students of the University of the Gambia. So if they are done with their tenure, they should not serve as signatories, and they should not even be part of that committee. So this was something and other things that we raised to the Justice Minister and tell her that to go back and then make those changes. If they make those changes, the LB, have nothing against that bill, and they will surely move that bill. But that never came to effect. They never came back. That's why we also never pushed that. So the other thing is, on the 25th of November 2023, they wrote to both Mohamed Bibaji and Molamin Jajusi and copied all the other committee members. And then their letter entailed for these people to make sure that they transfer signatories. But a response they got from Mohamed Bibaji was they were almost at the end of their tenure, because it was November, 25th November 2023, and then they think it's best that they give it back to the 22nd Executive Council, which at some point, whatever basis they have for that, we don't know, but this was the response that they gave to the 21st Executive Council. So at the end of the day, there was nothing much that we as an LD received from the 21st Executive Council, until when the 22nd Executive Council came. When they came in, they tried to get the bank statement of the endowment account through their finance minister, who is Ibicham. And then from there, they were able to write to us to do the investigation of the endowment account. And this is so applaudable, I would say, from the 22nd Executive Council, because the 20th, I would say they cannot bring in investigation because they failed in their responsibility of of changing signatory. 21st could have done that, but maybe it was not in their minds at the time. They were more focused on other things, and they tried with regard to the endowment bill, but which was never passed. And then they were also not ready at the time to continue with the recommendations that were given by the LB. So I would say the main reason as to why this endowment investigation took place, it was because of the 22nd Executive Council, after two successive councils that came that couldn't give a better recommendation as to what should be done at the time. So basically, I would say it was the 20th and the 21st Executive Council that failed in their responsibilities, most especially the 20th Executive Council at the time. Yes, basically.
So, on social media, messages, are circulated. In fact, Mohamed, Molamin Jayosi, there is a message claiming that it's from him, that, he is apologizing, what UTG student, that he withdrew 500, $1,000, and of course, with his colleague, Mohamed Baji. So he is saying that he is not entirely responsible, according to that statement.
Yeah.
And Watson Gambia also, what they wrote is that, Molam Jai, he is not responsible entirely for that for that 1 million. He's saying that his colleague is also responsible to pay 500,000, and of course, he's also pay 500,000. So as per your investigations, is that really concrete?
Yeah, I'll give that chance to the media. The media at some point, we are in the 21st century, and then at some point, the media would circulate wrong information. I believe they usually get it from the wrong people, and then they circulate the wrong information. The right people are not mostly asked, and that's why we always speculate wrong information, or maybe to gain attention or whatsoever. But basically, as I said, as per our report, and then this report, as I said, if the 22nd Executive Council, which I believe, since they already wrote to us, if they really respect the legislative body, they will surely abide by all the recommendations that the legislative body has put forward. And the recommendation is for Modlamin Jajusi to pay back the $1 million, because as we spoke to Modlamin Jajusi, he clearly indicated that he is the one who took it. So if at all Modlamin Jajusi had to tell us that 500,000 was given to Baji, then probably our investigation could have expanded more with regards to that. But Baji, came and then we had an investigation with him and he told us all that he knew. But he told us that he is really not aware of the 1 million until when he was called at UTG relations with regards to the endowment account. That was the time that he was able to be aware, which was just a few days before our investigation. So basically, we cannot say that this one, how to call it, Baji, will pay 500,000 or so. As per our report, it is Molamin Jajusi who told us that he is the one who took it and took full responsibility, is the one that is to pay it, which I believe that the 22nd Executive Council are going to abide by.